Today we're going to talk about creating templates and the custom tabs, because there are three components to creating documents. As we mentioned in one of the other videos, that video being the document management overview, there are three components, and those are the template, the information that goes in the template, and then the document. And we're bringing the information and the template together creates a document. Makes sense, right? All right, so this part we're going to talk about creating templates and also creating those custom tabs to support the information that goes into the templates. So let's start off with the templates themselves. So if we just open up templates over here on the left, you can see they have a number of different templates in here. We're going to actually just recreate the moving template. So the way to create any templates, you can have a couple options. You can create from scratch, or you can create from a Word document. My preference is to create from scratch. It seems like it's the fastest and easiest way. So what you would do is you'd have a Word document that I'm going to open here that may look something like this. It may be just the way you like it. Let's just pretend this is one of your documents. So the best thing to do is just to go into your Word document and just copy the whole thing. So you'd hit Control-C, or you could right-click and copy like this. So you can do it that way too. So now I've copied it. We'll minimize this for now because we don't need it anymore. So we're going to create from scratch, and we click here. And now we're just going to put our cursor there and Control-V or paste. So there we have it. It throws that information in there. Okay. So it comes in, the format may be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing or how you want it, but that's okay. At least you have the information in there. Let me show you how to get rid of this space in here. So if we back that up and just hit Shift Enter, it makes one space like that. Shift Enter, there we go. So it eliminates that empty space in there. So again, we'll do this a few times. Shift Enter. And then we'll come back here and we'll backspace and Shift Enter. Let's scoot that down one. And we might want that letterhead in this area. So I'll show you how to do that. What I use is a Snippet Tool. It looks like this. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just click New. And then it gives me an area that I can just grab like this. And I'm creating, basically it's going to be an image. That looks pretty balanced there. So I just minimize that at this point, and I'm going to minimize this. So I'm going to go back to our template here that we're creating, pop that letterhead in here. So we're going to do either Control-V as in Victor, or you can just right-click and paste it, and it pops into there. Now, it overlays it like this. We just click off to the side, and you'll see that it stays there. And so that's how you get the letterhead. So we can go ahead and close this and save it the way it is. And we could name it here. I named it Moving Estimate 2 and put in a subgroup, it's moving, and then we just save it. So if we just saved it, we would always could come back to it. So if we go to templates, we'll see it's in there, right there. So let's just come back and edit that. Again, click to the side and you'll see these things here. Now, how do we get the little dynamic links in here? Let me just show you how that's done. Okay, off to the right here, you can see there's our company information. We have general information, we have client demographics, and down here we have the tab data, and we'll see that there. So let's just go ahead and see if we would put in, it's like the moving time and date, so right here. So you don't want to cover it. In normal Word documents, you can just cover it and then you paste it on top, but here you have to actually delete it, and you'll see where that cursor exists. So where the cursor is where this is going to come in. So you can see the one move date and time. You just click that and it puts the link in. Okay, so we'll leave this, we can leave this same as client, or we can put the load address in, so you can have it either way like that. Don't worry about it changing the structure here, because that information is going to be small enough to where it's all going to flow into place. Unload address, that's something that you would have in there, and we go ahead and take that out, and I didn't take this out, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. So as you can see, it stays in there if you don't take it out. So there's the place there, and we have the destination address. Put that in there like this. So that's how you put information. As you go down through this document, you can see here number of bedrooms, and you put, it'll show down in here which one is this number of boxes, bedrooms right here. So you can click that in there like that, number of boxes. Again, we could take the 2 bedrooms out because that was in the document. So we come over here and take this one out, and then we put in, that's boxes, so number of boxes. That link goes in there, so you can get the idea. You just paste the links in there all the way through the document. Okay, now some of the information is not going to come from the custom tabs, which we're going to go to in just a little bit, but some of the information is already in the client's file. Of course, we're going to find that under client demographics here. Okay, so this is the information that's on that very first page, the detailed page. So we're going to go down to the primary contact, and we're going to put in name here. So backspace, and take that out of there, and we'll put a first name in, and then our last name. That takes care of that. Then we'll go ahead here, backspace there, and we'll scroll down. What we want is a client address. So we can see it here, and we go address 1, address 2, city, state, and zip, and that puts all that information in. Now there automatically puts a space between there, and there may not be an address 2, but we'll go ahead and put a comma in there, and so that it comes before the city, and put a comma after the city, and then we'll have the link for the state and for the zip code. And now for the phone number, and we'll backspace one more there. So we put in here, there's a mobile phone, that's the one we want to put in there, and we'll put their email address in here. That will be here. So that's how you get the client information in there. Okay, all the information here comes from the tab data. And we can see that here, and that tab would be moving details, because you might have more than one tab in there. So if we look at it, this is all the information we'll put into the custom tab, and we're going to go there right now. Okay, and that's saved here as moving estimate too. So how do we create custom tabs? So we go to the admin control panel to create our custom tabs. And you see that there's a tab right here called custom tabs. We click that, and we have one created here. Now, if we wanted to add a new tab, we click this button here. That's only if you want to add a new tab. So it'll be a different tab. We have a tab called moving details. If we create this, it would be a new tab. All right, so we want to, right now, we're basically just going to edit this because I can show you much more quickly how these things exist and how you put them in place. Okay, so these are called fields in the tabs. Fields is where you put data. Okay, so we have this field here. It's a date field. So this is a date input box. That's this guy right here. We added that. So if we wanted to create a new one, we just click on this. This is a standard text input box. So we click that. I could show you as an example. It starts off just one year labeled. So you want to label it something that makes sense to you. So we call it number of pets. So you can do that. So you add that, and you can see it popped it in here in the gray area. So it keeps this. We can just keep on adding one after another. So we have to go in and out of this. So we have number of pets here. Now, if we don't want that there, we right click on it, and we can either get rid of it if you made a mistake or spelled something wrong. You can move it to, so it's over here, we'd move it to the right. Now here we can move it to the right or left or up or down. So we can put it here, and we can move it up if we want, or we can just get rid of it. But that's a standard text box. Now what will happen is this will show up under moving tabs for each client, because this is a client type. Now if we're going to create a new one, it's going to ask you the type, and you would put in client, vendor, or employee. Okay, so this is a client type. It's going to show up in all the clients, this tab here called moving details. I know that I'm being redundant, but sometimes it takes a while to get your head around what tabs are and what fields are. So these are creating fields. We can just get rid of this for right now, but you can see it's very easy to do. And if you make mistakes, it doesn't matter. You can just, if you leave without saving, all that goes away. So if you wanted to add a drop-down box, that's what these are here. You put whatever you want in there. So if we add a drop-down, you can see here you put the label on, which would be any of these guys over here on the left, something you would recognize, something that fits in with your nomenclature, the words you use, or the descriptions you use. And here it says option number 1. You can just have one that gives you all the options, or you can have one that says none. You can create an option. It says, or you can just do this here. Well, you type in here, you create option number 1, you add an option, add an option, add an option, and then you add it and save it, and you'd end up with something like this. Okay, and there's amount of men required, so if you just don't want to type in something in on a truck's required or whatever. Stairs, you can put any description you want in there. So those are for drop downs. Now this text area box is a little bit different. It kind of gives you an arbitrary height. Okay, and it gives you an example there. So let's just say new comment box. It's just new comment. Okay, so height here we can say 5, and this is the example that shows you how big it's going to be in here. Now you say, oh, that's too many. Let's just go with 4. So it gives you an idea. This is just viewing. You can put as much information as you want in these things, but it's nice to be able to read everything you want. You can copy and paste an entire paragraph in there if you had a special disclosure you wanted to have for certain clients. So that's what that's for. It's for a large amount of information you want to put in there. So we would just click here, add. You can see it. It just pops it in there like this. And you can do the same thing. We can move it right or left or put it wherever you want, or we can just get rid of it. Okay? So that's how you create your custom tabs. It's quite easy. So if you're wondering what information goes in here, well, if you look at your documents, you want to see the variable data, the things that you would normally just fill in. So if you have a document that has blanks in it that you normally would write into the blanks, just name those blanks, take the blanks out. In the area where we create a template, you'd pop in one of these guys here and they'd all be labeled just the way you have it. So we did that so you'd recognize your own labels rather than us create that for you. So you can just pop that information in there, and once you would create it, you'd test it, you'd put information in, you look at it. You want to make sure that maybe too many spaces or not enough spaces or something like this. When you're putting the links in, if you were to nick a link or bump it or take the one of the brackets out, it'll break the link. It's not a big deal. You remove the link, put a new one in, and you'll be good to go. So the process is very simple. Basically, it goes like this. Get the document that you want, find the variables, create your custom tab so you have the variables to put in there, then go to create the template, copy and paste it, and plug in the dynamic links. So there you have it. That's how to create templates, to create custom tabs, and how to create documents. Now remember, if you want to create a document, go into the client first and then put the data in that you need and go ahead and go to create new document, and it'll take you to your templates. And once you click on one, it'll create it for you. You save it to the client's file. Then what's going to happen when you get into the client's file, it'll be here in documents right here. And then you have options of what to do with it then. So hopefully that all makes sense. Good luck, and remember, we are here if you need us. It's very simple, very quick. You come over here, you can put anything you want in here, type a note, and when you send this to us, it's going to come to us. So it's going to pop up a message here. We're going to look at it. We'll be able to respond. We'll type you a message back, and for you, it'll notify you that there's a response to that message. So we're here for you. Once you do it a couple of times, it's going to be a piece of cake, and we hope this to be the best experience ever.